Last night, West Ham United announced the signing of Lucas Paqueta from Lyon for €60 million. West Ham have a Brazilian attacking midfielder in the team. The first one since Felipe Anderson. Hopefully it goes a lot better than that one, but I am absolutely buzzing with this signing. There was a bit of a delay, weren't there, yesterday? We knew he had his medical on Sunday at the club. There was a lot of talk about an unnamed Premier League club coming in at the last minute to try and get him. Fortunately for myself, I was out yesterday, so I was a bit distracted, so I didn't really see everything that was going on. I saw things coming through to my phone about an unnamed club and a little bit of nerves and whatnot, but it's been done. Lucas Paqueta is a West Ham United fan. Oh, and he's beautiful, isn't he? Seeing the images of him in the new kit on the roof of the London Stadium, perfect. And I cannot wait to see him on the pitch either, because this is a huge signing for West Ham United. It's a huge summer for West Ham United as well, spending just under 180 million. Now, why we spent that much money, I don't know. I did a video yesterday with Gonzo. I gave my 3 reasons I think it could be. Which one it is, I don't know. It could be something else as well. Time will tell. But I'll worry about that in the future, if I'm honest with you, because today I'm just enjoying the signing, the potential of seeing him tomorrow night. West Ham have now got a race against time to get a permit sorted for him. They're sending him up to Hull today to try and get that meeting done, because there wasn't any available in London. So the club are under a little bit of pressure to try and get him registered in time to play Tottenham tomorrow night. It needs to be done by midday today on Tuesday, but fingers crossed we can get it. However, regardless, what a signing this is, because we've had a good window so far. Prior to that, we spent just about 120 million or something before signing Lucas Paqueta. And like I said, squad depth, we're looking good now. The bench against Aston Villa, that's a Premier League bench. Ogbonna, Areola, Soufal, Lanzini, Said Benrahma, Mikel Antonio. That is a strong bench. But it felt like there was still something missing, and it would come from the centre midfield / attacking midfield area. That creativity and flair, because, well, we have a team of hard-working players. We've got, like I said, we've got plenty of squad depth in defence. We've now got an extra striker, the wingers, but we were just missing something else, and Paqueta is that something else. I'm really excited. I cannot wait to see him play for West Ham, and we have shown ambition in the summer transfer window. I think January gone by, last January as well, the last 2 January transfer windows, I feel like we haven't shown that ambition, and that's been disappointing, because the club's been in really good positions going into the window, sitting 4th in the Premier League, and you would have liked to have seen the club gone for it. Now, what gone for it means is, I guess, down to our own perception, but I would have liked to have seen a little bit of ambition in January to back David Moyes both times, to say, here you go, here's 1 or 2 players, go get West Ham in 4th, go try and stay in the top 4 of the Premier League. And the lack of ambition was a bit disappointing. And I was wondering, well, what are we hoping for? That Moyes just somehow keeps us in, let's call it Europa League / Europa League Conference League places, which is going to be a difficult thing to do. Staying in the top 6 of the Premier League is not an easy thing to do. Just consolidating is difficult. And that's why I was impressed last season. Navigating that Europa League campaign and finishing 7th was a tremendous achievement, I felt. But to do it again would be even more difficult. But this summer we have shown ambition, and fair play to the board. Like I said, why we're spending this money, we'll have to wait and see. But we've spent it. It puts a bit of pressure on David Moyes, I think, because, as I said to Gonzo yesterday, the last 2.5 years we've been the underdogs a little bit, that we haven't spent the same amount of money as those finishing above us and even below us at times. But we don't have that now. Now the pressure is on us. When you flick on your Sky Sports News, it'll bring up your Premier League spend-ups this summer, and we'll be there at the very top. Now, Man United will go above us when they sign Anthony. However, right now, West Ham is the number 1 club. It puts a bit of a spotlight on it, and it puts a little bit of pressure on the manager as well. But it's a good pressure, I think, because for the right reasons. It's because you've got so many good players at the club now, because you've got so much money spent. Let's see what you can do. And all Moyes has to do, in my opinion, is just consolidate for a further season. Get a form of European football to the club and go after that European trophy this season. You've got the squad depth now. You've got a stronger squad than last season. Hopefully, you've got a better starting 11 on paper as well. We'll have to wait and see how the players settle in and how Moyes uses them. But in theory, things have gone really well for the club. in the summer transfer window. Now, it's not finished yet. Hopefully there's no major departures between now and Thursday night, and I'll be honest with you, I'm hoping we still get in one more player. It might just be somebody on loan or something, but I wouldn't mind just one more, just a little bit of extra squad depth, but we'll wait and see. But regardless, if the window's shut today, I'd be happy. I wanted to see a left back, we've got a left back. I want to see creativity from centre midfield, we've got creativity from centre midfield. I want a striker, we've got a striker. Now, whether these players all work out, we have to wait and see, but hypothetically, if all transfers were a success, I would suggest it's a 10 out of 10 window. So far, I am absolutely buzzing with the Paqueta deal, though, and I think you can be as well. I haven't seen loads of him. Like I said, I've seen him more in a Brazil shirt than a Lyon shirt last summer at Copa America, where he scored a couple of important goals in the knockout phases of it, and I just can't wait to see him in a West Ham United shirt. Listen to the likes of Tim Vickery speaking, who's a South American expert football journalist, and he was speaking about Paqueta. Now, a little bit of an alarm bell. He did say that he's quite petulant, and that's why he feels he struggled at AC Milan, and why he's gone to a club like West Ham and perhaps not a Champions League one, because he has that petulant streak in him. But he hopes that will be sorted at West Ham. And also, he's quite he often gives the ball away just outside our own box, trying to showboat and stuff, and I thought, okay, it's not going to fit well with Moyes. That I can just see it now, can't you? On his debut, giving the ball away just outside our 18-yarder, trying to nutmeg someone and getting substituted almost immediately by Moyes. But we'll wait and see. But that flair and creativity and entertainment, if you like, from an individual, it's something we haven't had for a while. I think at times in the last couple of seasons, we've had to grind results out. That's fine, I don't mind that. But there's also been games where we have been entertaining. We have played some really good football, especially on the counter-attack, but more as a team, if you know what I mean. In terms of like the individual status, we've not had it since Dimitri Payet. We just haven't. We've not had that player. I guess Marko Arnautovic at times had that sort of maverick kind of icon about him. But somebody like this coming in should be good. But like I said, by what Vickery says, he says he's a wonderful talent and West Ham fans will enjoy him, but he's got a couple of iffiness about him from Vickery, that is. So we'll wait and see. But yes, Paqueta, West Ham United fan, like I said, it just feels like the missing piece of the jigsaw, the final piece of the jigsaw. And Moyes has got so much options now. When I was looking at like the potential formations we could play, but not only that, it's the players that can play in each position as well. I was debating doing a video on it, the lineups we might see Moyes use in the next couple of months anyway, with 3 at the back and 4 at the back. If you want that video, let me know. Happy to do it. It just takes a little bit of work, but let me know. But I was just writing it all down, and even when we play like a left wing back in a back 3, well, we've got Emerson, we've got Creswell could play there. We've not really seen him there, but he could play there. We've got Cornet, we've got probably Fornals, we've got Ben Johnson. We've got like 5 options just for the left wing back role if we played that. And then you look at the left centre back role behind it when everybody's fit. You've got Aguerd, you've got Obona, you've got Aaron Creswell. Emerson can play there as well. Kerr could probably play there. Kurt Zuma. We've seen Ben Johnson in the back 3. You've got like 6 or 7 different players that could just play that one position. And it's good to see, because last season, I feel like we had a small squad, but I feel it was smaller because Moyes didn't want to use Alex Kral and Nikola Vlasic. For whatever reasons, he didn't want to use them. We can't afford that this season. We can't afford players in the squad that Moyes is reluctant to use. You get the feeling early doors so far that possibly we're going to have a little bit of that with Flynn Downs. Time will tell on that one. But we can't afford it. We need every squad player that we've got at West Ham has to have a role and has to contribute something to our season if we're simply going to replicate what we've done in the last 2 years, because it's going to be difficult. But this is a huge signing of intent. But also, like I said, I think it increases the pressure on David Moyes. Now, I'm just going to say this for 1 minute, and nobody twist my words. I don't want David Moyes sacked, to be clear. For clarity, I don't want Moyes sacked, but I'm going to throw this out because it's in my head. It's one of my honest thoughts. And that is, if things go wrong for David Moyes this season, and hopefully they don't. I don't think they will, and I don't want them to. But if they do, we have a very, very attractive squad for his successor. If we needed to, if for whatever reason we had to sack David Moyes because we weren't doing too well, I think when a couple of seasons ago when a manager was looking at our squad, they would have thought, oh, it's not it's not a great one, is it? There's some talent there, but you almost needed somebody like Moyes that was going to get results through, I guess, organisation and hard work. But now I think, well, let's just look at who we've just signed in this window. We've signed Scamacca, Italy's striker, Italy's future number 9. We've signed Paqueta, Brazil's centre/attacking midfielder. We've signed Thilo Kehrer, who has got more minutes under Flick for Germany than anybody else in that team. We've got a German centre-back, a Brazilian centre midfielder, an Italian striker, all that play for their country. I know people say Emerson, left back for Italy as well. But that is significant purchases. I think as a football club, I think this summer transfer window, we've become a bit more attractive for other managers that perhaps we weren't at the start of this transfer. Like I said, don't twist my words. I don't want Moyes to struggle. I don't think Moyes will struggle. I think we'll be fine this season. But it's just one of my honest thoughts, opinion, because you've got to have that succession plan to some extent. You've got to almost know what you want from the next manager along, because anything could happen at any time. Moyes might want to leave. Moyes might get a better job offer. The Scotland job might come up, and Moyes might think, you know what, I fancy that now, because Moyes has spoken before about how he's got ambitions to manage Scotland, and he's not getting any younger, is he? So if that job came up, he might think, you know, now's my time, now's the time. So you need that succession plan, and that's all it is, just a plan, which is a Moyes plan. We go get this manager, and I think the squad we've assembled this summer increases the shortlist, if you like. But away from David Moyes, like I said, I do think there is added pressure on Moyes now with the squad he's got. But for me, listen, I think it's going to take time. I think you can't just overhaul a squad like this. We've, 8 major summer signings now, 9 major summer signings. You can't get results like that. It's going to take a little bit of time for the players to get used to each other, for the players to settle in. And as a fan, when you're listening to the manager, basically give excuses as to why he's perhaps not going to play player X and player Y from the start. It is frustrating because you want to see the new signings, and that's okay. I always think it's fine as a football fan to want to see the new players start. Of course it is. You're a football fan, that's all it is. Your job isn't the manager. Your job isn't the player care management team to get the players settled into the country. Yours as a fan, and you want to see the new guy in the team, that's fine. But it is going to take time for Moyes to get these players in. It's going to take a bit of time for Moyes to work out where and how he wants to use Lucas Paqueta. I think the formations we've seen so far this summer, this season, and there's been about 4 of them, which is mental, considering David Moyes is like, you've got one plan only. I think we've seen about 4 already in 4 Premier League games and 2 European ones. So Moyes is going to need to work out how and where he wants to use Paqueta and when. I don't think we'll see him every single game. I hope we do, but I wouldn't be surprised if 1 or 2 games Moyes feels it's not the right one for him. I'll leave him out and go with these players. And that's something we've got to see from Moyes, a bit more flexibility, because often in the past I think he's been quite guilty of having his favourites and sticking with his favourites. Like I said to Gonzo last season, we could all write down 9 of our starting 11 for every single game. He had a template. Fabianski, Soufal, Zuma, Dawson, Creswell, that was it. You'd only change that if someone was injured. Obviously if Bogbonna was available, but he wasn't for the majority of last season. It almost didn't matter how well Johnson played or how well Diop played. You weren't getting in the team. That was the back 5. Rice and Souček would play midfield. Simple. Doesn't matter if they're out of form. That's the midfield. Up front was Antonio. Again, out of form. Doesn't matter. Bowen on the right. Always. Fornals would play either on the left or in the 10. Moyes would basically have a 50-50 decision between Benrahma and Lanzini for pretty much every game last season. That felt like that was the Moyes template. I don't think we're going to see that this season. We can't see that this season now. He's got so much options for every single position, so much competition and flexibility with what he can do and what he will do. I'm really looking forward to it, actually. But away from Moyes, Rob Newman. I think this is good for Newman. This is now a guy that's come into the club and he's been given 180 million to spend. There's always going to be this, who chose these signings? Is Paqueta and Moyes signing? I'm guilty of that as well. We'll have to wait and see, I guess. But I've got a feeling it's Newman signings. I've got a feeling Rob Newman's fingerprints are over a majority of these. I like to think Moyes essentially rubber stamps them, where Newman might go, there you go Moyes, here's the guy I think you should get, and Moyes will have a look over and say yay or nay, and then they'll pursue it or not. I don't know how it works. I'll be interested to know how it works. But at the end of the day, Newman is involved in the recruitment process. Simple as that. And he's been essentially been given 180 million to spend this summer. That's a lot of money for someone. And he's now under pressure as well, really, because if come next summer, Scamacca hasn't worked out, Paqueta hasn't worked out, it's going to be the whole Pellegrini / Huchelos thing where Sullivan will be looking at them going, hang on a minute, lads, I gave you quite a lot of money and we're not really seeing anything for it. But also, I said to Gonzo yesterday, the money thing, we can't spend this next summer, surely. Surely we cannot spend this again, unless we've got the Declan Rice money next summer or something like that. But Rob Newman's got his work cut out the next 12 months, I think. Identify some players with a budget of 20 million, please. Oh, per player? No, for the whole lot. If you want 3 players, you've got 20 million for all 3 players. Sort it. So I think Rob Newman's role is a way to change in the next 12 months. But that's what he's brought in for. He's brought in for finding players at low cost as well as the big ticket ones. And I guess I think it would make sense to go big at the start, which is get your squad assembled quickly, because these are good profiles as well. Scamacca's 23, Paqueta's just turned 25, Aguero 25. These are good ages for players that we're purchasing too. And I think it allows a little bit of patience now going forward in the window, because next summer, it's possible we might need a new right back. Therefore, we've got 12 months now to go get identified. We won't need 8-9 players next summer. Hopefully, if things go well, we might need 2 or 3. That 2 or 3 major signings, and that's it. Newman's got a year essentially to identify these players, get the scouting done, get the recruitment done as well. And I think we're in a much better position going into next summer already. I know it's mental to think like that, but that's how I view this, because I think the squad we've assembled is good. It's a good squad. This signing, what a signing. Like I said, it feels like a coup. Him and Scamacca feel like 2 massive signings of intent for West Ham United. And like I said, you don't need to have seen them play. But when you've got Tim Vickery saying that this is a massive signing for West Ham, when these guys are coming with a big reputation in European football, sort of the next big things or whatever, you're allowed to get excited because of that as a football fan. I think that's important, to have fun. And hopefully, fun is exactly what we're going to see at West Ham when Lucas Paqueta played. But anyway, like I said, if you want to see the video where me with my non-expertise will go through the formation I think we could see at West Ham with David Moyes with this squad at his disposal. I've already seen the examples of it this season. I'm basically doing what Moyes has already done, but just who could play where kind of thing. I'll piece that together. I'll be back later on tonight with another video though. I'll be back tonight. It's a double upload today. But there you go. Lucas Paqueta to West Ham, 60 million euros. What a signing. Can't wait to see him. And fingers crossed we can get that work permit sorted today before midday, and we can see him tomorrow night at the London State. Even if he's just on the bench, just having Paqueta in his squad would be a massive buzz for everybody attending tomorrow night's game. But if you've enjoyed this video, please do drop a like on it, subscribe if you're new to Hammers Chat, and I'll catch you tonight.